Zachary Watson is a wife, mother, and retired bartender. She traded in her wine opener for her laptop and now works from home as a producer for BlogHer Publishing Network. She's been Rocky Mountain High for 11 years and tells her story at Raising Colorado. She will be reading DIY is Full of Danger, a cautionary tale.
I've always wanted a decorative wreath for our front porch, but I've never found anything that said, "Buy me." This past December, when we pulled out the Christmas decorations from the garage, I noticed that we had a few of those fake plain green wreaths, and I decided to jazz it up. If there's one thing we have an abundance of in Colorado, it's pine cones. The kids and I went outside and gathered pine cones from the woods around our house. We were crafting off the land. It was pretty much just like Little House on the Prairie, except no one was blind. I had no plan, no directions, just a glue gun and sheer determination to make my vision come to life. I started gluing the pine cones on the inside edge of the wreath, working my way around. I ran out of pine cones quickly. I kept going back out and filled a box up 3 times. I glued, and glued some more. It was like a gigantic pine cone puzzle. You know, if puzzles were sharp, pointy, and gave you splinters and burns all over your fingertips. It turned out lovely and totally free. All the supplies that I used I had lying around the house and in the woods, and free makes my wreath a gigantic win. But as we all know, magic comes with a price. The next day, the back of my right hand developed a weird rash. A few days later, the rash had spread to my face, ears, and neck. I figured it was a reaction to something I had eaten. I called my doctor's office and they told me to swing by. My doctor mentioned the rash did not look like it was brought on by food or drink and proceeded to ask all sorts of questions. He was certain it was some sort of reaction to shampoo, detergent, lotion, or perfume. I've used the same shampoo since high school. I make my own detergent. I don't use lotion, and I've worn the same perfume for at least 5 years. He brought in his doctor coworker friend, and this guy was all, "Well, I don't think it's shingles, and probably not scarlet fever. If it was lupus, the rash would be more located on your joints." Huh. They told me to go home and take some allergy medication for my hives and call them if anything changed. I was concerned for the well-being of my face, but I felt confident enough to put my hives on blast via Instagram, because everyone finds hives funny and amusing when they aren't happening to you. I should have titled the photo, "Bitch You Don't Even Know," as this was just the beginning. Later that evening, my entire head was bright red and on fire. I stayed up all night with a cold washcloth on my face, consulting Dr. Google, convinced that I was suffering from a rare medical condition and about to receive a cutting-edge diagnosis of being allergic to my husband. After a full night of being miserable and not sleeping, I was inspecting my red, patchy, burning, swollen face in the mirror and noticed there were tiny blisters forming on the rim of my lower eyelid. I called my doctor's office again, freaking out because high no sleep and because Mary went blind on Little House. And they were all, "Please come to the office immediately. We're concerned for your vision." Me too. 20 minutes later, I'm back in the exact same exam room from the day before. My doctor informs me my skin is blistering, and it looks like my lymph nodes are swelling. He inquired if I could have possibly, somehow, been exposed to poison ivy. "Oh, you mean like when maybe I went into the woods and picked up 200 pine cones by hand? And then painstakingly applied those 200 super special free pine cones to a tacky wreath with nothing but my glue gun and a dream?" He informed me that even if the poison ivy jerk face of a plant is dead, it could still infect you for up to a year with its super demon plant powers. So I picked up pine cones lying in a field of dead poison plants, came inside, glued said infected pine cones of death to a wreath, touched my iPhone a whole bunch of times while making the wreath, and then used the said contaminated phone like a boss while working the next day, and gave my entire head the worst case of poison ivy my doctor has ever seen in the history of his practice. I was prescribed steroids to prevent my eyes from swelling shut, and my face looked like it was sunburned to an itchy, infuriating crisp that I absolutely could not scratch, and I had blisters all over my entire head, even in the creases of my ears. Why the best things in life are indeed free, apparently they can also rage and disease your entire face with their poison oils. My free wreath cost me 2 doctor office visits, $16 in drugstore relief, a copay for my prescription, and my dignity. I straight jack myself up, all in the name of crafting. After my family offered their love and support in the form of laughter, my sister pretty much summed up this entire experience with one sentence. God punishes crafters. God punishes crafters. That's why Martha Stewart went to jail. Thank you.